Yo, it's your boy Samurai Jack, and I am here with a video on how to use bow, or at least tips and tricks. So I've been seeing a lot of people trying to pick up bow, or just people just wants to learn how to use bow. So here I am with the video on how to start learning how to use it. But first things first, with any new weapon that you're trying to pick up, please always come into the training room. The training room is so important because it helps you at least understand the basic movements and mechanics of a weapon. Not in practical combat or fighting a monster, but just learning the weapon somewhat to get an idea of how the weapon works and an idea how the weapon moves. Now, as you see, we have bow. Now, what I want to mention really quick is people who don't typically use ranged weapons. So over here in the right hand corner in your status, on the bottom right hand corner, you see for ranged weapons, you see, well, for me, I have less elemental damage taken. For melee weapon users, you would see less physical damage taken. That's something that's been there since the start of the game, but I believe with the introduction of 5th gen with World and Rise, in old gen, how that used to work is you had two different armor types. It was Blade Master and Gunner or something, but you had two different actual armor types that represents the less physical damage taken and the less elemental damage taken. They took that system out and they just associated with the weapons itself. So that's why we have alpha armor, beta armor, and all that other good, beautiful jazz. But that's really it. So if you get hit by something that doesn't normally kill you when you're using a melee weapon, just know it's literally because you're taking more physical damage than you were before. Now, some things that might kill you with this has elemental purposes and everything, or elemental value to it, that might take you out on the melee side. But again, you can block and or dodge or parry, whatever you want to do with that to avoid that from happening. But if it does somehow hit you and it kills you, and it's like, oh, what really won't happen against a bow person or a person using a ranged weapon. But I just want to make a quick mention of that right there. So if you do get hit by something that doesn't normally take you out, just know that is quite literally why. And if you're wondering why my defense is so low, it's quite literally because I have nothing on for armor right now. Like, I have 0 armor on because I want to show something. So next things that is coming up is coatings. So let me go over here real quick. So every weapon has a different, every bow has a set amount. A set amount of coatings that are available. So right now I got the Kongalala bow and I have the Shagamas bow, well, guarding the Shagamas bow, and you can see that they have different coating selection options. For the Kongalala bow, I have power coatings, paralysis coating, Jesus Christ, poison, I don't know who I was about to say, and blast coatings, while the Shagama bow has close range coatings and blast coatings. So every coating has a particular function. Close range coating and close range coatings and power coatings, they basically increase your damage overall. Now, there is a fine difference between close range coatings and power coatings. Close range coatings, they basically just they increase your damage a lot. However, in the name, you have to be close up to the monster or your damage will fall off, which I will show you in a bit what I mean by damage fall off. Or not that you will get out of range faster, which I'll show you in a bit. Power coatings, they increase your damage, but it's not as much as close range coatings. So quick insert, since I stumbled over my words and everything. Power coatings still do give you a nice damage increase, not as much as close range coatings, but you still have a nice increase. The only difference is between power coatings and close range coatings is the fact that close range coatings you have to be closer to the monster, while with power coatings you can just be the normal usual distance away from the monster. You have to be as close up. So that's really the only difference between them, outside of just the damage. Close range, gotta be closer up, more damage. Power coatings, you can go to the normal range, but slightly less damage. That's all. Okay, back to the video. Now, pierce coatings. I'll equip my weapon or another armor to show you piercing coatings. But piercing coatings is also another. It's a really good. It's a new coating overall because we don't have piercing outside of Dragon Piercer, which I'll jump into in a little bit. Piercing coatings does piercing damage. They are very strong coatings. Okay, so since I forgot to actually show piercing coatings in the main video, I'm just making this quick little tidbit right here. So piercing coatings are very nice. They affect every aspect of your bow. That goes to like, except for tracer rounds. Tracer rounds don't really get affected by piercing. It's still that one little flat damage it does, but however, it still tracks. Piercing coatings is really they're just good. They affect Dragon Piercer, which will do more tick damage, and then to also include your 1,000 Dragons, you also do more damage there. So if you are interested in using piercing coatings, just know it will do that. It will reduce your damage overall, but it will also give you more hit markers across the board. So it's good for everybody. No matter who you're fighting against, it's good from small monsters all the way up to very large monsters. It's just really nice to use. That's all. Back to the video. They also affect I'm gonna show you and see, but I know they also for sure affect Dragon Pierce. It'll give it more tick damage. It affects your normal attacks. They are also very great for mounting. So when you do physical attack or your mounting attack off your chocobo, or just a jump attack off your chocobo, you will do multiple hits with one swing, which I'll show you and also a little bit down the road. But those are really good coatings. They're really great on any monster type. But however, I will show you in a bit, they do less damage per hit because it's multiple hits. Paralysis coatings in the name, paralyzing the monster. Same thing with poison. You poison the monster. Sleep coatings, you put the monster to sleep for a setup. Blast, if you use a blast weapon, you already know what that is. And then now exhaust coatings, their functions have changed. Instead of just doing, it used to actually exhaust a monster, now it actually stuns a monster. So if you want to stun a monster, exhaust coatings are a really good way to go. Just make sure you hit the head, because you do get stun damage and you will knock a monster out. So that's actually a really nice change to exhaust coatings and everything, but I just want to explain that really fast there so you can see the different type of coatings. Now to the actual portion of where you see the damage difference. I had to do a lot with these weapons, but you see how I'm doing 17.9. Hold up, I get shot too much. So I'm doing 17.9 right here. That is just basic, no charge, just one shot with the bow. Now I put on my power coatings. I'm now doing 23.3. That's what 5.4 damage increase with my power coatings on. So you see the damage difference there. Now you can also unequip coatings if you just want to take it off. This is a quick little tidbit there. Now I'm gonna switch to Shotgun's bow, and you will see, too close. Well, I already have my close range coatings on still. Let me take it off. So you get 17.9 right there for basic coating damage, or no coatings. Now with close range coatings, I'm doing 25.1. Now I can't show you the damage fall off really with, not the damage fall, the range fall off with close range coatings on this particular weapon, because this particular weapon has ballistics. Ballistics extends the maximum range of where the maximum range of the arrows, which I can show you here. It says the range. And it says the range in which ammo and arrows have maximum power. So I have my range extended. So I can't really show you really good with this weapon here. So let me do a quick switch. Okay, so switch to another weapon. This time this is Guardian Fogre Agenat's weapon. So the damage is going to be different because it's not a fully upgraded weapon. It doesn't have the same raw damage as Kung Lawless bow, so it's going to be a damage difference. But however, I do have more elemental damage than this one because this is a raw weapon. This is not a raw weapon; it's an elemental weapon. But you would see I'm out of range faster. Well, when I had the shotgun bow, it took me to like back here to get out of range. But basically, what out of range means is that when it does hit, you can't really tell. It does a lot less damage because you're just out of range. Most of the time, it just won't hit. If you get lucky, it'll hit. But if it does hit, it's going to do a lot less damage. So close range coatings requires you to be up close. You can be about, yeah, like right about here. Well, this much distance between you and the monster before you literally just get out of range. You won't do any damage at all, or you will just do very low damage numbers. So you want to stay up close to a monster and everything so you can get your damage. That's really about it with coatings. That's just want to show the main difference between the power coatings and the close range coatings, because there is two different functions. Actually, let me show you the functions for power coatings so you can see what I mean by you actually have more distance where you can use your weapon. Actually, let me put them on, and let me just keep backing up. Now you see I'm out of range. It's still hitting, but I'm just out of range. The hitting is iffy. Now I'm walking up and bam, I'm all the way back here with my power coat is on, and I'm still hitting. Well, I'm hitting, not doing great damage at all. There we go. Now the difference between close range coatings and regular coatings is not that much, but you're a bit further back. Now this is with a weapon without ballistics on, so if you don't want to be that close to a monster, you don't feel that comfortable being that close to a monster, which if you're using a melee weapon, should be comfortable being that close to a monster. But if you are using a neutral range weapon, you don't like being that close at all, or you just a range, you want to be a range main person, they understand throwing ballistics, so you're gonna be that close to the monster. But I would definitely say bow benefits from you being close to a monster. That's why they changed. That's what Capcom changed bow mechanics, and they're kind of forcing you to be closer to a monster, because you really do benefit from being closer, because you got your Discerning Dodge, aka Adept Dodge, but in game it's called Discerning Dodge, where you get your stamina back and everything. But we're gonna move on to our tracers, dragon piercers, and thousand dragons. So tracers, they are very great. Now they do give you a damage increase on your arrows. It's just not as high. They do give you a damage increase though. It gives you, no, it still does give you a level 3 charge. Hold on, is that level 3 charge still? I thought they took that out. Hold on, let me see. This actually, no, it's actually more. So I guess they did. Well, I do have my, what, no, hold on, I'm tripping, I think. So also for another thing, if you are using tracers and you apply another tracer, as you can tell, it makes that one tracer blow up that you already had applied, and it reapplies that tracer there. So it won't stack tracers, because the arrows have to track onto a tracer round. Now I gotta recharge. Actually, I can just do this. Katashi. So if you run into bows, they all have their individual gauges. So with tracers, like I was explaining, tracers, they allow your arrows to hit no matter where you are aiming. Well, it just exploded. But no matter where you're aiming, your tracers will track. But there is a certain distance on the same thing will apply. It's still a certain distance, and if you're too out of line with the tracers, it won't lock onto the tracer. If it does, not all the arrows will hit the target. Some of them will hit, but it won't track like you want it to. But let me build my gauge back up. So, but yeah, like I was saying, it allows you to shoot the target without particularly having to aim. It's really great if you're out of position. If you're trying to focus on a particular body part, say you see a wound somewhere, or you're trying to get a wound on a specific body part, let's say the leg, you just pull out your tracer. I don't have one right now, but you pull out your tracer, you shoot, you try your best to hit the leg because the monster is moving around, so you aim for the leg the best you can. You shoot the leg, you just go to town. Now there is this thing where if the monster turns too much, the tracer round, they'll still try to, the arrows will still try to track the tracer, but they might not hit that particular part that the tracer round is in. It'll hit somewhere else. So just be aware of that will happen. I will say tracers are not integral to your kits. You don't have to use them at all. They're just nice to use when you are trying to target a specific part on the monster, especially temporal monsters where you see the scars and everything on their body. You can just target that specific part until you literally open the wound up, and then you can just go there after that and just use your wound popper, as I call them, your special attack to pop the wounds and everything. But I would definitely say dragon, if you use 1,000 dragons on a tracer round, it will immediately pop the tracer because it's an X amount of damage that tracers can take before they actually explode. You can go ham on it with your regular shots. Now, using Dragon Piercer with tracers, it exploded at the worst possible time. Let me reapply it. But using Dragon Piercer with tracers, I'm gonna show you what I mean. Dragon Piercer plus tracer is not a great time, and this is what I mean. Let me go here, because it'll pull it, but either it will hit or it won't hit. So if you are doing Dragon Piercer, if you do Dragon Piercer by accident, be aware that Dragon Piercer may or may not hit. If it does hit, it's going to do about, depending on where it hits at, maybe 3 or 4 ticks. Depends on where you have your tracer at, and it depends on where you have how much the monster is moving to, and it also depends on how it decides to hit, if it hits or not. So just be very aware of that tracers plus Dragon Piercer is a very bad time. So just try to avoid using Dragon Piercer when you have tracer rounds. If you do happen to do Dragon Piercer, that's fine. Just know you're gonna notice the damage fall off is crazy for that. But if you're just doing like this and you do this and they don't move and it's still straight on, it'll track. It'll automatically pop the tracer round as well. So any type of special ammo, so that's what 1,000 Dragons is, and Dragon Piercer, there are special ammo types. Just like with heavy bowgun and light bowgun, they have their special ammo types. This is bow special ammo types, which is just Dragon Piercer and 1,000 Dragons. Now, Dragon Piercer by itself, without the addition of tracer rounds, they are great. Tracer rounds also a weird special ammo type as well, but you just use gauge for that though. So yeah, but Dragon Piercer, it's really great by itself. Now, I just outright did Dragon Piercer. Outright doing Dragon Piercer out of a combo, it takes a lot longer to do it. It's faster than previous iterations, just outright doing it. However, combo, it is slower out of combo. See, this is in combo, it's a lot faster. Out of combo, it's a lot slower because it has to build up. This is another thing. Dragon Piercer also holds the charge. So I got my charge on my weapon. I think it should be there. Let me get my stamina build back up. Actually, I can do this. That's 1,000 Dragons. So be careful. So that's another thing with Dragon. Well, how they got it now, Dragon Piercer and 1,000 Dragons has very similar inputs. In the world, if you want to do 1,000 Dragons, all you had to do was do the R3 input, and it'll basically like using slinger ammo. When you had Clutch Claw in the world, I don't miss that mechanic, but when you had Clutch Claw, all you had to do was just press R3 and then whatever you use for your controller. So Also, I forgot to say caveat really quick. This is a really quick caveat. I'm going to use FGC terms to talk about the face button layouts, because trying to say triangle, circle, YB, that's gonna get a lot. I'm gonna say you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is square, circle. Actually, I'm gonna have this up on the screen. Actually, so I'm not gonna explain that. It's gonna be up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. To have to do a quick caveat right there. It's gonna be up on the screen. You see what I'm talking about. But if you do hold wherever your chart button, R2, RT, whatever you're using, and you press your 2 and your 4, it'll make you do 1,000 Dragons, which previously in the other games that will make you do Dragon Piercer. So if you want to, let me build something back up. But if you want to do Dragon Piercer, you just either make sure you don't hold your charge button at all and just do your 2 and your 4, or you can combo into it and do it that way. But again, it's still, do not hold your charge shot button. Do not hold that at all, because if you hold that while you're trying to do Dragon Piercer, you're just gonna outright do 1,000 Dragons. Now 1,000 Dragons in itself might change what I said, but 1,000 Dragons in itself, what that does, you can combo that into honestly anything. 1,000 Dragons is this combo to any portion of the combo at all. You can just charge shot, do 1 power shot. I did Dragon Piercer. I meant to do 1,000 Dragons, but you can just do that and 2,000 Dragons. You can do quick shot, power volley. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do that again. Let's do a quick one back. So you can do quick shot, power volley into 1,000 Dragons. Or, let me build my 7 back up. You can just do a quick shot into 2,000 Dragons. Or you could do a power volley into a Dragon Piercer. Don't be like me, y'all. Do not be like me. But when September comes up, but like I was saying, you could do a quick shot, power shot. Yeah. I'm trying to describe this, but as I was saying, again, quick shot, power volley. Well, I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So quick shot, power shot into 1,000 Dragons. There's a lot of things that you can combo into 1,000 Dragons. There's no set spot where 1,000 Dragons come into it, but you just use 1,000 Dragons anywhere if you feel like it. Now, I would definitely say be careful on using 1,000 Dragons if the monster is swinging at you, because you can get knocked out of it still, and it also does have a decent amount of wind-up time there to just get it out. So if you have that little frame of moment where you can pull out 1,000 Dragons, by all means, go at it. Just go at it, but just be very cognizant on when you're using it, because it can get you hit if you're doing it at a frame or a moment where the monster's attacking you. Like I said, you get knocked out of it. But yeah, that's it for the basics of bow. Oh, also, this is a quick little teeny bitty thing. I'm gonna say this: we're in new gen. So people who have not played OGen bow before, or have not even fiddled with OGen bow, I'm gonna tell you this now. This did not exist. This did not exist at all in OGen. This existed in OGen. This actually existed in OGen. You did not have the freedom of movement in OGen. I'm specifically referring to GU. Bow was probably the same in the older games as well. Whenever it got introduced. Like, this existed, yeah, that existed, this existed, but the actual, you doing your charging side step, that did not exist at all. And another thing, 1,000 Dragon did not exist, and Dragon Piercer did not exist. You actually had to combo into using, I'm again referring to GU, you also had to combo into using, or not using coating, applying your coatings onto your actual arrows. So the dragon, well, the I'm gonna say 1,000 Dragons combo is how you would actually apply your coatings. That's how you actually apply your coatings in 8th gen. Well, before this game came out, if it was 5th gen bow, you do the 1,000 dragon, the dragon piercer combo into applying your coatings, which was it was a lot. I call bow for 8th gen archer because you're just an archer. You had not that much freedom of movement. You had to always be aware of your spacing, and not only that, you really didn't actually have an aim either. You didn't actually aim. Your aim was actually pressing for G, you had to press X and you would get aiming line, and that was your aim mode. You didn't actually have a dedicated I can hold a particular button and actually aim at the monster. No, you was running around doing this and actually doing this the whole time. So if you would mess around and you turned this way, you were shooting this direction. So let's not regress back to how old gen was. If we can be very careful of that, especially if you're picking up bow, please don't run around doing this. Do not do this. If you can, please don't do this. Make sure you're doing this so you actually aim at the monster and everything, because it's just, you would lose so much damage and you would lose so much time in the hunt, and that probably will make you put the weapon down because it'll probably frustrate you. Say, oh, why I'm not doing this, why I'm not doing that. So just be very aware of, make sure you're holding your aiming button, which is your L2 LT button. But yeah, that is it on that little quick caveat there. So now there are some particular skills I would say that are very helpful to bow. As you can tell, I have no armor on. I just wanted to show you the raw damage without all the critical hits that are popping up or negative crits that's popping up. I just want to show you the raw damage really quick there. So with skills, when it comes to bow, especially because bow is a very stamina heavy weapon. Bow and doublades, they're very stamina weapons, but I'm talking about bow particularly. Bow is an extremely stamina heavy weapon. Okay, so as I was saying, bow is a very stamina heavy weapon. So what you can do, if you do not want to equip skills at all, I'm gonna show you some pop-ups on the screen. You could eat for basically constitution, but what you can do is just, yeah, like I said, just, I'm right, just eat for, if you don't want to use skills at all, like stamina skills at all, or stamina reduction, stamina reduction skills at all, just eat for it. Obviously it's gonna be up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about, what's specifically eat for. But if you are using skills, I would recommend use skills, especially if you have any armor with 1 slot on them. Equip Constitution. Just equip Constitution. It's not, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. This is just a recommendation. It's not really required because if you do a Discerning Dodge, you do get your stamina back. However, it will help tremendously if you do have on Constitution. Constitution 3 and 5 are, that's what you want to use. 1 and 2 there's not much, is a slight noticeable difference, but you don't really notice until you hit 3. That's when you really notice how much stamina reduction you are getting and how much longer you are staying in your combos. If you put 4, you might as well just go to 5. Just go ahead and max it out. So there's no point of doing 4. It's either 3 or 5, really and truly, when it comes to Constitution, because 1 and 2 is not that useful. 3 is when you really notice it. 4 is the same thing, like I just said already. Let's go to 5 already. Let's go to 5 and get the max out skill. But some armor does come with Constitution on it already. If you have multiple 1 slots, as you can see with the Arkvale armor, suppose if you ain't made it that far yet, but with Arkvale's armor, he has multiple 1 slots in his armor, so you can just slot it there, and that really does help with you using your stamina, because bow, a lot of the time the charging side step is considered as it's considered an invade. You're invading the monster every time you do a charging side step. That's why when you do a charging side step and they're about to hit you, you get a Discerning Dodge, aka an adept dodge. So that counts as you dodging every single time. Now, another skill, which is really not needed at all, is very nice to have, is Stamina Surge. For me, 3. Just get level 3. That is a really great skill to have, is Stamina Surge. You can see at level 3, it increases your stamina recovery speed by 50%. In World and Rise, it was the max out skill, or max out skill was 30%. They increased it to 50%, and it's such a nice buff to Stamina Surge, because it was 10, 20, 30. Now it's 10, 30, 50. 50 is amazing. That 50% of stamina recovery is amazing. You can get back into the fight faster with bow. You can keep doing your basic combo without dashing with bow and everything. It's just great. Now, I would say do not equip Marathon Runner on bow. That is not needed at all. This is only good for dual blades, really and truly. Or if you're gathering stuff and all that, and you're running around a lot, that's good there too as well. But this is really specifically a dual blade skill. You don't really need this on. You don't need this on bow at all, actually, because you're not dashing, you're dodging. So, because I've seen a comment somewhere say, "Oh, I have this on." It's like, that is not good for bow. You don't even need that for bow. So do not equip Marathon Runner. It might seem like it's a good skill to equip because it does help manage stamina. It is not a good skill for bow at all. It's a terrible skill for bow. That's just wasting a 1 slot, honestly. Now, I would say if you don't want to, because Stamina Surge is a 2 slot skill. So if you don't want to, you dedicate any of your 2 slots to Stamina Surge, just make the talisman for Stamina Surge, which is the Surge Charm, and just max it out, or however far you want it to go, and then just equip it there. That is a great replacement for Stamina Surge. Again, Stamina Surge is not needed at all. However, it is a really nice skill to have because it does increase your stamina recovery speed, which is great for a weapon that constantly uses it, no matter what you're doing. Which you are shooting your bow, you're dodging, or you're holding a charge, it uses your stamina at all instances of that moment. Now, I'm going to show you the differences between no Constitution or Stamina Surge, which you have been seeing me doing because I've almost had to stop randomly. You're going to see what I mean. There's a difference between having no skills and not having no skills on. So this is me just, again, I have none for skills. I don't have anything in here that reflects I have a stamina management skill on. So if I do a full combo, I'm already out of stamina. Basically, I'm out of stamina for just not even doing a actual really good full combo. I'm basically out of stamina, and I go back into it at the stop. I have to wait for it to recharge back up to go back into it. So there's a difference between allowing your stamina to recharge while you're aiming. And reduce my stamina back down. And you see how it's charging really, it's like somewhat slow on that charge. So when you're doing your combos and you run out of stamina, you kind of gotta watch your stamina a lot too. If you're aiming, wait, there's not much of actually no, I'm wrong. Wait, hold on, let me see. Okay, so when you're doing your combos and you're aiming, if you disengage the aim, your stamina bar will recharge faster than it would while you're holding aim, and it takes that little bit of time to proc into the actual recovery speed, well, the recovery animation. Well, not recovery animation. Can you see it goes through like certain like little tick moments? And if I just let it go, it charges faster. If while I'm holding it, while it's trying to recharge, it takes a little bit for it to finally like, okay, he's out of the combo. Well, they're out of the combo. Now I can recharge. So if you want to recharge your stamina a little bit faster, just stop aiming for that particular moment, and it'll re-engage. The stamina will re-engage a lot faster. But it's not that much of a difference between just still aiming and not aiming outside of movement speed. So if you want to move a little bit faster, if like the monster's about to hit you, just stop aiming and just move around. But I know in the other games, you not aiming did affect you. Well, it did affect your recovery time for your stamina, because while you were aiming, it was a lot slower. I see that they changed that here in 6th gen. That's something I just learned there. But in older gen or the 5th gen, you did have to stop aiming to recover your stamina faster, because it would recover a lot slower while you were aiming. If you're just holding the aim button, you would see it recovering, but it would be a slower pace. So if you were aiming without Stamina Surge, it was a painful recharge time, well, recovery time for your stamina. But here, it's not that much of a problem. You can keep aiming and it's not a problem at all. Now, it's just actually doing a combo. I can't keep my combo up as long as I would like to by just doing this, because again, a lot of stuff takes stamina. So I'm gonna show you this little thing right here. So if I do 1,000 dragons, typically you can do the charging side step out of 1,000 dragons. Without any stamina, you can't. So you're just locked into that recovery animation because you have no stamina to get out of it. So I do 1,000 dragons again, I can charging side step right out of it, instead of having to just sit there with no stamina at all and actually get hit, because 1,000 dragons takes a lot of stamina up, and I'm spamming A and I could not get out of it because it's there's a dedicated amount of stamina that you need to dodge, and I just didn't have it there. As you can see, it takes like maybe 1/8 of my bar, 1/6 of my bar doing a charging side step without it. Now again, this is without any stamina management skills on. So do a quick switch. So now we have on Stamina Surge, not Stamina Surge, we have Constitution 3 on. And you can see I'm in my combo a lot longer with Stamina Surge, not Stamina, Jesus, Constitution 3. I was in a lot longer combo than I was without any stamina management skills. So that is why it's so important in having Constitution. I would personally say Constitution is required for bow, because you can keep up a better damage time than just not having it at all. Or again, if you don't want to have the skills at all, you can eat for it. But if you have a bunch of one slots, you might as well just slot it in, unless you're running with a group of people and everything. Blinding it will eat. Well, you can still eat for it, because I think how it works, I don't really pay attention to Tumbler low or Tumbler high. I think Tumbler high would be probably about Constitution 3, maybe. I'm not for sure. Someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm not for sure. Someone's gonna put it in there, like let us know like what is considered as for Tumbler low and Tumbler high, because Tumbler high honestly could be it could be Constitution 4 and low could be Constitution 2. That's how I could be working. Again, I'm not for sure because I don't really eat for those skills at all. But if you did want to eat for it, that'll be if you want to use bow and you ate for it, there will be some great skills to eat for if you don't want to equip skills at all. But still, again, if you do have the slottage for it at all on your set, unless you run a shot proof, even then run a shot proof and you have multiple one slots, that's just one slot. Just throw on Constitution 3 and you can call it a day there, really and truly, especially if you eat for it, because the amount of time you can stay in your combo with just Constitution 3 is huge. That's not to even including if you're constantly getting adept dodges, Discerning Dodges while you're in the fight with a monster. Now I'm about to do another quick swap again. Now this, what I have on here, it does have on, I do have Constitution 5 and Stamina Surge 3. So you will see what I mean by it's so nice to have Constitution 5, because even while I am doing my animations and everything for like my entire combos, I am saying I'm just attacking a lot longer for a longer period of time. I'm doing more damage over a course of time because I have very good stamina management skills. Because again, bow overall, the whole weapon is a stamina heavy weapon. Like you need the stamina because you're constantly moving, shooting, charging your shots, especially if you're holding your shots, and all that. Now there is one particular move I have not done yet at all to show a way that you can kind of finagle stamina. Is this your flying swallow shot uses not that much stamina at all. Like this is a really great skill to help you reposition and not use that much stamina while you are repositioning. So if you want to do something that's helping you reposition while also still getting damage off and be cute at the same time, is this move right here. It's a very great move to have. It's a great addition that they added in because the stamina usage for it is very low. Well, I can't say very low. I'm used to use Constitution 5, but the stamina usage for it is not that taxing because you would think a jump animation would use more stamina. It doesn't. It uses that momentum that you have there already, which I don't have any momentum go the opposite direction. But it's just a really great option to use if you don't want to use stamina to reposition, because you get that extra jumping power to completely reposition, get out the way, dodge an attack, or just put yourself into a position to where you can do more damage on a particular part if that monster decided to move randomly, like they always decide to move randomly. And use a tracer rounds, that also helps a lot for it to track towards the monster, so you gotta worry about really aiming at the monster while you're in the air. So it's just a really great skill, a really great move to just use overall, because it uses a very small amount of stamina to actually do the shot, but the actual jumping animation in itself does not take any stamina at all. As you can see up there, it takes no stamina. But this is why it's so great to have Stamina Surge 3, because if you look, my stamina recovered extremely quickly instead of me having to wait for it to recover with no Stamina Surge at all. So even 1 is okay. I would say if you don't want to max the skill out, 2 is fine, but at that point you might as well just max out your Constitution, your Stamina Surge overall, because again, it does increase your stamina recovery speed a lot. And not only that, if you're in that middle, you might as well go ahead and max it out. There's only 3 levels, and again, you can make a charm for it. Because I know I personally would not use the decorations for it, because again, it's a 2 slot. I could put something else in that 2 slot, and I just run my charm to make up for that lack of me not having Stamina Surge. Now there is some really good armor sets with Stamina Surge in it. Actually, better yet, if you want to use an armor set that does have good stamina management on it, where is it at? It would be the Dober sets. The Dober set has, I could be pronouncing it wrong, it could be Duber, but the Dober set has let me just equip it real quick. But it does have maxed out basically everything that stamina wise is maxed out for the Dober set. So let me just put it on really fast. Okay, so we have the set on. The Dober set is a really good set to have on, because you can see here my skills are kind of redundant right now because I do have Stamina Surge. Technically I have Stamina Surge 6 on because I have the charm still, as you can tell here. But with the armor in itself, you do get Constitution 5, Stamina Surge 3, and Marathon Runner 3. So it's a really great set for both dual blades, and bow. So if you wanted to see how it is and experiment with bow and everything, this is a really good set to put on. The defense is not that bad on it and everything. You can use this armor, still has at least some decent amount of defense there on it. Even with, oh my god, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of the armor at level 4 and one still at base level 1, because I don't really use the armor set anymore. And it does also have 3 slots in it as well, so you can slot in some 3 slots. It got one slot, and it has 3 2 slots, so it has some pretty nice slottage. You have to, I think you unlock the set after you get to a certain point in the story, I believe, if I remember correctly, but it should be available there for you. If it's not available there for you, that's fine. Another decent armor set is actually Rathalos' armor. Well, lowering Rathalos armor is actually another set that has decent stamina management skills on it. Hiring Rathalos armor does not. I think Guardian Rathalos might actually have some stamina management skills. I will have to pull up to see. I'm not gonna check right now, but for a fact, low rank Rathalos armor has some decent stamina skills on it. And the Doper set is another set that has like not even just these amazing stamina management skills on it. But that's just a quick caveat on that. Now let me show you what I mean about Discerning Dodge. That's what I mean. This is a great thing to use, or the training room is a really great place to use and everything, because you can change your armor, and you can also come in here and you can simulate certain things to see what certain things do, what your weapon does overall for you and what it has to offer. So I'm going to throw mode.
Let's give it a try,
because it's easier to. You see how my stamina recovered? I just gotta wait for him to do it again. You see how much my stamina recovered from just doing the Discerning Dodge? That is why you want to stay pretty close to the monster. Oh, I'm so glad I did that. So you see how I dodged a little bit too late away from it, and I didn't get as much stamina back, and how the Discerning Dodge looked different. So there's 2 types of Discerning Dodges overall. You have a perfect one, and you have a one that's just not perfect. It's like a regular one, and you can tell by 2 things. Stamina recovery, I just missed that. Stamina recovery is one, and the other, there is a visual cue. If you get a perfect Discerning Dodge, it'll show like that. You have these bright little blue sparks flying off of you, like very bright blue sparks flying off of you, like that. While the other one, if I can get it, I miss, but if I can get it, it's not as bright. There's not really any actual blue sparks flying off of you. So that's how you know you didn't get a perfect Discerning Dodge. If you got a perfect one, your stamina will do 2 things. It will, well, the stamina do 2 things. It'll do one thing. Well, you see 2 things happen there. Wait, a better statement. One is you will see your stamina fly up, like fly up. 2, you actually see the visual cue. Now, the Discerning Dodge also has another important use, and which is why it's very integral to why it's very important for you to actually dodge and be close up to the monster while you're fighting the monster, so you'll be in the range of most of their attacks. Because let me do this again and do this. So you see here, my gauge on the bottom, my blue gauge, is basically empty. Let me shoot that song, because even shooting your arrow, shooting your bow regardless, will make your gauge go back up. Oh, this is empty as I can get it. So you see my gauge is, like I said, it's basically empty. The Discerning Dodge, I got a good chunk of it back. Now, I believe focus will actually also help that as well. You probably get a full gauge off of focus, but even just getting not even a full bar, even not getting a full bar, I still got a good chunk of my gauge back, which is really good. That means I can upkeep my coatings, which you really want to upkeep the most. You always want to use your coatings as much as you can, because that really does help you do additional damage, because you go through your coatings extremely quickly, honestly. Like, you might not seem like it, but doing a full combo can, not even a full combo, doing multiple combos can take you out of your coatings very quickly. Put them on and then go back at it. But it's really great to recover your stamina and also your gauge, which is very important to you using your coatings, because you need the blue gauge for your coatings. You need your blue gauge for your coatings and for your tracers. Now, if you are out of your gauge, like completely out of your gauge where you have nothing there at all, if you try to apply a tracer, you will see this animation right here. You're trying to apply a tracer round and it just wasn't there. It's just not there for you to apply it at all. So you can dash out of that animation. So if you do get stuck in the animations, like, oh, I don't have any gauge to actually use a tracer round, that's fine. As long as you have one full bar, you can just do that. So that's why it's very important for you to be up close to the monster. Like, being back here and everything is cute and all, but there's two things that's happening there. One, you're probably not hitting the monster. And two, if you are hitting the monster, you have such a humongous damage fall off that you are literally a weak link. If you are running with a group of people, you are a weak link at that point, because you're not doing that much damage at all, because you're too far back from the monster and you're just not engaging enough with the monster. Now, I will also say this: if you're not being targeted by a monster while you're in a group of people and everything, it is a lot harder to get a Discerning Dodge. So that's why I say it's really great to still have some type of stamina management skill on, because you can still at least get your stamina recovery back, because you'll naturally regain your gauge back by just shooting arrows. You just naturally gain it back. Focus does help a lot with getting your gauge back too, because it'll be a bit faster, since focus does help weapon charge and your gauges charge faster. So that would be a great, depending on if you have that bow with it, that's a great bow to have. But at the end of the day, just play what you want to play. Let's play what you want to play, but it's just really beneficial to have that there. I was gonna do an actual run, but this video was long enough as it is just explaining bow and everything. But that's really it with bow. If you want to pick up bow, please pick up bow. Bow is a very fun weapon to use. It's a cute weapon to use. I would definitely say this: I have seen people do this. I've seen people doing this. If you want to play like this, that is fine. That's 100% fine. It's also boring. It's also very boring, and yeah, like, if you want to do what is it called, a dragon piercer build, there is some weapons for it's a skill called special ammo boost. It's a weapon skill that'll boost your damage for dragon piercer and 1,000 dragons. You can just do that, but that is a boring way. To me, it's a boring way to play, because I'm not playing bow to sit here and spam this. And not only that, Dragon Pierce is not that great for smaller monsters. It does a lot of tick damage. Still, you have great tick damage across it, but it's not as good against smaller monsters, because they don't have that big girthy body to go through. Pick things like Ufduna, Rathalos, Raytheon, Raydal, Gen Dahad. Any like long monster or bigger monster is really better against, because you get more tick damage out of those. But that's really about it. That's all. If y'all have any questions or want to see any more videos on bow, my good friend the Royal Josh _ he is way better at bow than I am. I just got a lot of time in bow. I struggled picking up bow at first when I decided to pick it up. So if you want to see other things, see actually cute movements and all that, and a cute gameplay for bow, go and watch his videos. He has really great videos on just using bow overall. Other than that, that's all, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.